All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. My Catalana, I'm Jenna Cottrell. We're going to do our analysis of this Bills-Broncos game, but first, please be sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. All right, Bills picking up preseason win number 10 in a row as they beat Denver. Josh Allen played for one series and one series only. Allen ended up with the touchdown, though. What did you make of his day today?
I'm happy that it was over fast.
Yeah.
It was 6 plays, 3 completions, and they got him off the field. Look, you're playing against the Broncos backups, and Sean McDermott made that point, but Allen looked like Allen. He does this like pirouette move in the middle and turns his back to the play, and then the defense was around him a little too close for my comfort watching him to see, and then he throws a laser to Gabe Davis. We're going to see a lot of that this year. I was happy that McDermott saw what he did and then got him off the field for 2 reasons. We don't need to see more of Josh Allen. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because it was against the backups. They got some of those things that they want to get. They feel on the field when they get them out there together with the new offensive coordinator and all those things. But he looked like Josh. That was great. And then we got to see Case Keenum with the ones. So I think both of those things were a big positive.
I think Allen being out there for one series, we can say that he got his, live reps against another team, all of that, and then be done with it. I completely agree. And I also think it was good for Case Keenum because he got to play with the other starters, and he kind of McDermott talked about it after the preseason game that, after the showing last week from Keenum, he came into practice a little bit more finely tuned, a little bit more professional of a response. Not saying he was unprofessional, but I think it was nice, and it gives you some confidence. You don't want to see Case Keenum on the field, but it gave you some confidence that he was able to operate the offense.
Well, last week he struggled. Okay, he was playing with the twos against actually the ones, most of them on defense for the Colts. He admitted he threw a bad ball, was a bad pick, turned the ball over, all those things. But I keep saying, if we're going to see Case Keenum play, and he needs to play, it's going to be with the ones. Unless it's a blowout, the Bills are up big, and he comes into the game, and you put the backups in. So he knows that. He got out there with Diggs and Davis, moved him right down the field. Jenna, they scored the first 6 times they had the ball. It really didn't matter who was playing. They were going to score. But Keenum looked like the guy you want him to be. Decisive. Like he even said afterward. Well, first of all, he joked. He goes, yeah, it looks a little different when I'm out there and Josh Allen. And it is. But he's a quarterback who's been around. I thought he looked exactly like the way you want him to look. He took him down the field, and they got another touchdown.
I mean, you mentioned the efficiency, and I feel like this team is, there's so much that goes into the season and what is expected of the season. But another bright spot I thought from today was just the offensive line. I think you saw a little bit of rhythm, and even Deion Dawkins talked about the continuity aspect. And look, we've talked about it. When you don't have continuity, it doesn't matter. Then when you do have it, it does matter. But let's be real. That helps as you move forward going to the season.
Yeah, I think this bunch has felt pretty good together. Now it is interesting, the right side. Spencer Brown was with the second team. I don't think that's set in stone at all. Quessenberry looks like he could step right in and start. That right side of the offensive line, if there's been a problem for this team, it's been on that right side. And I think both of those guys, certainly they have confidence in. Let's see where Spencer Brown is as we get a little closer to the start of the regular season. But it is a different offensive line coach. And Aaron Cromer seems to have their attention. This is a guy who's done it for a lot of years in the NFL. And I think there's things they want to see. And part of what they want to see is an effective running game. And boy, they look good today running the football.
I was going to say, that sets us up beautifully, like how the Bills' offensive line set up the Bills' running backs. Duke Johnson, Zach Moss looked good. Devin Singletary looked good. Raheem Blackshear also looking good. Like that entire group, that room looked great.
Oh, they did. And I think there's, obviously there's their own internal competition that goes on. Devin Singletary, to me, I'll just say, and again, I know it's against backups, he looks quicker to me. He made 2 really good moves when he got the ball in the first quarter. And that's what we had heard about him, and he showed moments of that. Zach Moss looked decisive. I mean, he looked strong. He seems to feel, when you listen to him, don't you think he's pretty confident in his game? I feel that way.
Even Deion Dawkins said, Zach Moss is healthy now this season. I guess last year we learned now that he had been dealing with an ankle injury. And someone asked in the post-game presser, like, what is different? What's the biggest difference about Zach Moss this season? And Deion said his confidence. Like when a guy is completely healthy, you can see that, you can feel that. And Zach Moss today, like you said, decisiveness was one of the things that came to mind.
And the rookie running back looked pretty good out there, didn't he?
Did. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention him when I mentioned the other running backs. But, yeah, James Cook.
Yeah, he did. He caught the ball a couple of times. Nice. I mean, that's a skill that he has that they want to see. Adds a dimension, I think, that I don't think is a strength for either one of the main running backs. So you see that, and I think that's a plus. And, we don't know what's going to have with Duke and Blackshear and these guys and who comes back on the practice squad and all those things. I think they're set for those first three. We don't know beyond that, but I got to tell you that it's nice to see depth in that room. Certainly as guys that can play.
Brandon Beane is going to have a really tough time because I feel like there's a lot of very talented players that are on the bubble, and you always talk about competition and what that means for this team, but I feel like each year it gets even more intense when that cut line does come down. Look, there's a couple more weeks until that. They're going to have to do another round of cuts, but until you get to the 53, we have a little bit of time. But in terms of some of the things, other plays, I should say, that stood out, or players, Shaq Lawson.
Yeah. He flashed today.
Yeah.
He was fired up today.
Yeah, he was.
No doubt about it. That was the old Shaq coming back. I think, there's been a thought that Shaq isn't the effective pass rusher that maybe he was when he was here before. And I don't know if he's an every down guy for that, but that's not the role he's going to have. He's going to come in and give them pass rush in the rotation. And today he was in the face of the quarterback more than one time. I think he was pretty effective. He came over and I believe he yelled, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah. Shaq is back. And I think that was pretty noticeable today, that he looked pretty good. Both rookie corners got called for penalties.
Yeah.
I was really not happy with the one I saw from Kaiir Elam. I think they could have called him for a hold. They got him for the face mask. It happened to be in my perch in the press box while you're down here on the field.
It was so hot.
I was ISOing with my binoculars. That's not an old man take, is it? An old man take? But seriously, if I want to see
use them for football and bird watching.
I never watched the birds, but it's I wanted to watch him, so I'm watching him on a few plays. I'm watching him on that play, and right off the get-go, he got turned and he grabbed, and they called him for the face mask, which made it even worse. So those are the kind of things. Now they're going to call the, contact downfield, the 5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
They're going to call that a ton, and Benford got called for that. I think it was today. But those were things I noticed what they did defensively. Those guys have been good. They got a lot of snaps in this game.
Yeah.
They want to see them a lot. So going forward, I think they're still going to play next week, too. I think those guys are going to play in Carolina.
I would agree with you. It was interesting. It was funny, though, because I thought of Leslie Frazier when you had asked him about, this last week, the corners got a taste of that confidence making plays. And Leslie Frazier's like, yeah, but we know it's coming. Maybe they don't. But at the same point, some of those penalties, and there could have been more calls, too.
Yeah, there could have been. But they're going to keep an eye on them. And that's not just the officials keeping an eye on them, the other team. Because, as Leslie said, that was a good observation on your point. But what he also said was, because you come into this league and there is a bullseye on the rookies.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit with the officials just because, come on. Let's be honest, it's human nature. Those guys get more calls against them. Yeah. But then the second part is on the other team's offense. They are going to see the guys that are rookies, and they're going to go after them. So if they're on the field against the Rams, you better believe that's who they're going to look to go after.
Yeah. I thought A.J. Epinesa, too, had a nice play. That's a guy that we've kind of been waiting to see some type of impact from. And it seemed like he's a guy that's maybe in the shadows, I feel like. Well, he's overshadowed by Greg Rousseau and all those things in the defensive line in general. But it was nice to see him have a play that I was like, okay, there he did play.
Yeah, he did. And we've seen it in practice. We've seen it at camp, but it's different in a game setting. And today we saw that too. So that's another plus. Hey, look, there wasn't a lot of things that went wrong. The only thing went wrong, they only punted one time, and it was not the turn of the punt god. It was the turn for Matt Hawk, who got the one punt. Very nice from midfield. And Sean McDermott was asked, Sal Majorana asked him about, would you want to give, Ariza the chance to have a different kind of punt? And he's basically saying, like, I had one punt today and it was Matt's turn.
Yeah.
And he did a nice job. Would be nice to see Ariza get some of those chances. I think Friday in Carolina, I think he's going to be the only punter on the roster. Maybe I'll be wrong.
Okay.
And I think whatever times they are stopped, whenever they're stopped, my guess is the starters aren't going to play, and he's going to get more punt opportunities.
I'm ready for the preseason to be over.
So am I. I'm ready. This guy's ready. Everybody's ready.
It's very ready. All right, thank you.
It's loud in here.
It's so loud.
By the way, I want to know before we go, if anybody has a comment. I'm in the air conditioning of the press box. Jenna's on the field. She's got full on black.
I have to wear the really nice vest.
Yeah, that's true.
There's the
It
brown.
was hot down here, though, wasn't it?
The turf. One of the police officers had like one of those thermal guns to take the temperature.
Yeah.
I believe the highest we got to today was almost 160.
Yeah.
So we were like, we should just bake cookies or something because it was so hot.
It was 68 in the press box, I think.
They were serving chili. I
Oh,
heard
no.
that.
What's the
I
deal?
heard that, and I got a little mad.
Yeah, it's not chili season yet. It's not chili season, but I got through it. I'm a warrior.
Okay, we need to end this now because I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I hate you. All right, for Mike, I'm Jenna. Dan is back in the studios. We'll catch you next time here on Buffalo Plus. Please be sure to like, comment, and most importantly,
Subscribe. We are closing in on 16,000, so we appreciate
Yes.
all the subscriptions.
thank you. And we're going to try and post more shorts, so let us know if you enjoy those. Also, people were asking, yes, that was me in the short of the Bills reporters battling. That was
Yeah.
Ashley as well from channel,
you-
I don't know.
Channel 2, dominating performance by you.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah,
thank you.
very
It means
good.
a lot.
Yeah.
The feet are very slow right now. All right, we'll catch you next time on Buffalo Plus.